Hello, this is Edith Neumeyer. And of course, I'm the author of the book, The Mystery of Adam. Now, Mystery of Adam is not a novel, like maybe a romance model, no. It is based on Bible research and Genesis. I researched Genesis to find out who God really created in Genesis 1 and 2. It wasn't a male being. Okay, the male being was created in Genesis 2, of course. Actually, he was not created. He was just formed. Now, I went to the original text to look at the original words. Many words in Genesis were falsely translated, like man. Okay, now man in the old language, in the old traditional English language, meant actually human being as well. But most people today, when they think about man, it's always about the male being. But in the King James, man really also meant human being. Okay? So in the beginning, when you go back to the original text, that's exactly what it means. Human being. God created the human being. And not until God took the side of that human being was the man left over. Now you can decide what that means, okay? But in my logical thinking, that means in the beginning, God made the man and the woman one. Why? It's not because this is what God wanted. God said at the end, it was not good that the man to be one, to be alone, to be man and woman together. He said it was not good. And therefore, what did he do? He split the human being in a man and a woman because he said that was good. Okay? So I don't want people to look at my research and then just go in the wrong direction. Look at my book. It is really a good study about biblical gender equality. But I don't want to talk about that today. I will do that in my next video. Today I'm going to continuing to talk about the coronavirus. Now I know people are already doing their research, and I hope they do their research. I constantly read things. Now remember, do not listen to people that are trying to fearmonger. Oh, so many people died. The research that I have looked at, and I look at much, is that the percentage of people that die is even less than 1%. Less than 1%. It's still not succeeding any of the death of previous flu epidemics. So we are not in a situation where we need to be paranoid. Now I understand the government is hyping this up. The government is hyping it up because they put us, and they do that all over the world, because they're putting us on lockdowns. Now we're getting so far that we are really under martial law in several cities, New York, California, I think is LA, or San Francisco. So they're being put under lockdown. Now that's, for me, is martial law. Nobody wants to put that in their mouth. Okay? Why? Because even the government is putting us under some fear propaganda. Now I'm going to call it propaganda because that's what the government does. All over, every time I go someplace, people want, the CDC wants to inform us about how we can keep safe during this virus or this pandemic. What does that mean? You don't think we know how to keep safe? I mean, for years we're having these, viruses that cause flu every year. We don't know how to keep safe. That is really kind of strange. Why are they informing us now how to stay safe? I don't need to know it. I know what to do. I mean, how many times do I have to know? I have to wash my hands and this and that and this and that. I mean, I think we do know that by now. Okay? No, they are hyping it. It is fear propaganda. It's fear propaganda, and it comes also from our government. CDC is behind our government. They're getting permission by Trump to do these things. Well, you know, Trump is really not pulling the strings. Now, people even today, they're saying, oh, Trump is against the UN, Trump is against globalism. Then why is this a propaganda that is being conducted all over the world, not just in our country? Okay, it started in China. What did they do? They made this whole thing, they used communist measures. They locked down people, okay, supposedly to stop the spread. Of course, in China, we didn't know. They didn't know what it is, so they had to be careful. By now, we should know what it is. We should have done our research to know what it is, and to know that it is not this fear virus that they think it is. In Europe, they locked down everything. Why? Because supposedly in Italy, this virus went crazy. Okay, supposedly. Now, I don't know. I was not there, so how am I supposed to know? So it supposedly it went crazy in Italy. I don't know. So Europe shuts down. No reason, but no, we're going to shut down our borders. We're going to quarantine everybody. Oh my goodness, Germany is pretty bad. Some kids decided, or some people decided, oh, we're not going to stay home. We're going, it's a pretty day. They have nice weather. They went to the beach and they celebrated. They had a party, what they call supposedly coronavirus party. Oh, and the government just swooped in and stopped it. Okay, so now everybody in Germany is on a lockdown. People cannot go to the playgrounds anymore. They cannot go really anywhere unless they're going to get food or medication or doctors, whatever. Okay, so they used one little incident to just swoop down. And I see the same thing happening in the United States right now. I believe the government is just waiting to swoop in and say, lockdown. I mean, absolute lockdown. Right now, they're just closing things down in most states, okay? Only the food, the food stores. We're not supposed to be gathering over 10 people. What does that have to do with anything? Gathering over 10 people is going to make the coronavirus more crazy? Is that what they're saying? It is, people really, when you think about it, it all doesn't make sense. And I think more and more people are getting to that place. Because on one side, the government keeps saying, oh no, it's not deadly. It's not worse than the flu. On one side, that's what they're saying, right? Oh, you don't have to worry about it. It's not deadly. And it isn't. Okay, it isn't. So many people now that in the past have actually tried to wake up people are now saying, or putting it out there like it is more dangerous. And they were saying, people stay home. Okay, don't go against the government. Well, I'm not saying that either. I'm not saying, you should go against the government's, instructions. Stay home as much as possible. But do not get paranoid over the coronavirus. It's not the coronavirus. It's the government that is putting us on lockdown because it serves their purpose. And I don't know what their purpose is. Remember, we talked about fear propaganda. Fear propaganda, scaring the people. And again, I have said that in my previous videos. What is the end result? That's what we should be worrying about. I have seen a video today which was excellent, and I put it in the link. Let me find it here. Where we at? Trying to get back to where I saved it. I saved it on my Facebook group, Great Deceptions of the End Times. Go there because I do save quite a lot of things there. So this video is excellent. And then again, I do not support this this Facebook channel 100%. Okay. So don't think that I'm going to now, I'm accepting or I totally support this Facebook group here. The group is called End Times Productions. End Times Productions, okay? And the title is Everything We Know is About to Change Forever, okay? Excellent. Now, there are so many excellent videos out there. And again, I do not agree with everything they're saying. I agree with this video and the research that this person did. So it doesn't necessarily mean I agree with his whole theology, because he is a Christian, and that's a good thing, of course. But I don't know about end times theology, because that can be different. That sometimes is different than what really the Bible says. We have too many false teachers out there that are confusing people, and especially right now, we're coming to the end. But watch this video, because he shows very clear research where this can be leading. It can be leading, number one, to a vaccine, a forced vaccine for everybody, in combination with a chip that will trace people and will show if this person was vaccinated or not. It's a very good video. So that's what we need to be worried about. We don't need to be worried about the coronavirus, because that is not really a threat. It's not a threat for normal people. I am 63, actually 64, sorry. Yeah, I'm still stuck in 63. But anyways, I'm 64, okay? And they say people over 60 have more a chance of I don't think necessarily just getting it, but also to get over it. So the older you get, the harder it is to get over it. But I am very healthy, and if I compare myself to somebody who is in their early 60s or even 50s, sometimes I'm much better health-wise than they are. So that's not an indication. The indication is pre-existing conditions. How healthy are you? How healthy is your immune system? That's what is more important. Not whether you're over 60 or whatever. You know, even over 70, some people still have a healthy immune system, and others don't. If I would be over 80, I would be careful. I would be staying home. If I'm maybe over 75, I would be staying home and be more careful. But not being paranoid about this little virus that can kill. It doesn't kill people, especially not younger. So I don't understand, people in Germany, I hear much more about Germany and what they think in Germany than here in the United States. In Germany, they're saying, oh, we want to protect the sick and the elderly. That's what they're trying to say. This is their excuse. We want to protect the elderly and the sick. Well, if you want to protect the elderly and the sick, then put them in quarantine, and not the healthy as well. You don't put the healthy and the sick and the elderly, the healthy and the elderly together. You just put the elderly, say to the elderly, listen, stay home, put yourself in quarantine. But it's not like you don't force all people into quarantine. If a person wants to get this virus, then by goodness sakes, let him get the virus. Why is the government stepping in and stopping people from getting this virus. You know, it's not like smallpox where you really die. It's, you know, it's not that way. And people, the government, the CDC is trying to make it look like that. Why? Because they are going for a vaccine. Just read lately, that Trump is supposedly giving, 1/4 of his income or whatever to this coronavirus, whatever, prevention or fight of the coronavirus. Yeah, he's putting it in vaccine because he already knows he's going to make buku money in that area. I'll tell you right now, people already invest in this vaccine, and you know you'll get rich because they're going to push it worldwide. They're going to push it worldwide. And I said in one of my videos that could lead to the mark of the beast. In this video, everything we know about is about to change. That also brought that up. Exactly. Will it lead to the mark of the beast? Yes, it may. Okay? Yes, it may. Now, but you know that when the mark of the beast is finally really implemented, I really believe that we will be gone. The rapture will have happened. Why do I say that? Because in the first, I think it's in the first trumpet. I don't know if it's in the first trumpet. So it would be Revelation 8. Okay, Revelation 8. That's the first trumpet. Or the seventh seal. Okay. See, we are now going through the seventh seal, or we have been going through. The first 4 seals with the horsemen is already passed. We already had pestilence. We had famines. We had all these things, or wars, conquering. We already had all this. Right now, we're going towards the 6th seal. Okay, and right after the 6th seal doesn't take very long. We're starting the wrath of God. We may even go into it. Right now, today, I saw 2 earthquakes. One in Croatia and one in, I don't remember where, but somewhere in Asia. 2, I think 5-point or 6-point. Croatia devastated the capital. Destroyed. Damaged the capital of Croatia pretty bad. So we're having right now earthquakes coming. Now that's not anything new. The earthquakes have been ramping up. Okay, more and more. Volcanoes are going nuts. This is going to happen. It's going to continue. And why is it going to continue? Simply because this, and that's what I want to really put again an emphasis on, because this planet X or 7X or whatever you want on Nibiru is coming closer. And as it comes closer, earthquakes are going nuts. Okay? They're going nuts. So prepare, because we're going to have more earthquakes. So where is that? Let's see. So it says, and he opened the 7th seal. 7 trumpets. Here it is. The first angel sounded his trumpet, and that's in Revelation 8, verse 7. The first angel sounded his trumpet, and there came hail and fire mixed with blood. Okay. That doesn't say anything about the but just remember, this is what happens next. Hail mixed with blood. Okay, and the third of the earth was burned up, and a third of the earth was a third of the trees were burned up, and all the green grass was burned up. And how many people do you think are killed during that time? So now let's go to Revelation 16. Because remember, the trumpets and the bowls overlap. So the first trumpet, totally overlaps with the first bowl, and so on. So now we're going to read what the first bowl says, because that is most likely then where it is with the mark. Because I'm trying to show you where the mark of the beast, why the mark of the beast will, because we don't hear anything about the mark of the beast outside the wrath of God. So here we go. The first angel went and poured out, and that is in Revelation 16:2. Okay, here it is. The first angel went and poured out his bowl on the land, and ugly, festering sores broke out on the people who had the mark of the beast and worshipped its image. Okay? So that's in Revelation 16:2. The first bowl, or sometimes called vial, and it overlaps with the first trumpet. And it is the wrath of God. Sorry. Sorry. One more time. So why do I know it's the wrath of God? Because it tells me in the first verse. Then I heard a loud voice from the temple saying to the seven angels, go pour out the seven bowls of God's wrath on earth. So many people do not believe that all of the bowls or vials are the wrath of God. And so many do not believe that all seven trumpets are wrath of God. Overlap the bowls and the trumpets, and you will see that they are the same. Now, of course, they're not identical, because John looks at them looks at the wrath of God from a different angle. But nevertheless, you can see they are the wrath of God. All seven bowls, all seven trumpets are wrath of God. And here in the first bowl, we see that the people who have the mark of the beast is what they get ugly festering sores. Why do we hear that here in the beginning of the wrath of God? Why do I believe this is when they're going to put the mark of the beast out there? Because, see, right now they're preparing the stage, because the elite know that something is coming. They know that this weird planetary system is coming. And we see that in Revelation 6:12 through 16, that the elite know. And we can look at that. 6. And it starts in 12, when the sun goes down. And then we go down to 16. Then the kings of the earth, the princes, the generals, the rich, the mighty, and everyone else, both slaves and free, hid in caves and among rocks of the mountains. They call to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of their wrath has come, and who can withstand it? This is what they say before the 7 trumpets start. The 7th seal. This is the 6th seal. They see something is going nuts in the sky, and they see the wrath of God is coming. And they know it. And they're not going to tell you, people. They're not going to tell you. Okay? They will not tell you. They will wait until the last minute. And then once this whole stuff starts, can you imagine what I just read in Revelation 8? You know, how much? A third of the stuff is burned? hail and fire mixed with blood, and it was hurled down on earth, and a third of the earth was burned. A third of the earth. That means houses as well. Okay? It's not, oh, we're going to just burn the trees. No. Along with that goes the houses. A third. A third. Okay? So this is what starts pretty soon after these people realize, oh my goodness, the wrath of God is coming. And they're hiding in their bunkers. Now this coronavirus, could that be used so these elite can hide safely in their bunkers? Of course. Of course. They can use an event like this. Why? Would they want people to go all nuts? Oh no, we're going to lock down everybody so we can go into the bunker safely and nobody knows, what's going on. We are all locked up. That can't happen now. I'm not saying it's happening right now. I say it's a possibility. It's a possibility. But going back to the mark, why do they need the mark of the beast after this stuff goes really bad? Why? Because shortage of food. We already see shortage of food. This is a trial run. Okay? This is not real. Okay? They created this. And they're thinking, okay, this is like a drill. Okay? This is like a drill. They're seeing right now how people react. They're saying how they're going to, manage this whole thing. Think about this as a trial. This is a trial. And they're already preparing this so when the real thing happens, everything is in place and nobody goes panic. Nobody goes panic, or more panic what people are doing. Now they're scared. They're not really in panic mode. They're scared. They're staying in their house. Now, if people would think, oh my goodness, something is coming, what do you think they're going to do? You think they're going to hoard even more? Oh, yes, they will. There's going to be riots. There's going to be looting. It would be horrible. So what are they doing? They're creating a mark in order to control the population. Not just immunization, okay? Not just immunization, but food source. They're going to have to see these little chips will tell them how much somebody has, whether they have 20 packages of toilet rolls or whatever. It will limit people to a certain amount. This is how much you get. Now we have food stamps for that, cards, okay? And each card has a chip. And that chip goes into computer and they know exactly what a person has. And it's going to be, this control is going to be extended to everybody. Therefore, they need that. They need, number one, vaccination, because pestilence, yes, are going make it worse. But they also need it to control the masses because people will go crazy. Now, if you think this cannot happen, and I'm not saying this is already, they're doing this already for this and that. This is a possibility. And this, if anything, is a trial run. But going back to this mark of the beast, what I just read in Revelation 16, I'm going to go back. Okay, they're getting these boils. Well, I believe the mark of the beast will happen either just before the rapture, okay, just before or even after. I think more likely it could start before, okay, but or simultaneously. I think we're up for this mark pretty soon, okay. So again, what is this mark? It could be watch this video. Watch this video. And some people say, oh, you have to worship the beast. Well, again, what is worshiping the beast? Let's think about that. What is worshiping the beast? Most people still think that this beast is one man. Okay? One ruler. No. That's where they go wrong, people. That is where they go wrong. The beast in itself is not one man. Matter of fact, even Babylon the Great is not one man. That is made up by who Martin Luther called Antichrist. Okay? Martin Luther called papacy, the Pope, Antichrist. That was actually a name that Martin Luther used to show that the Pope or papacy is the man of sin. Okay? And I think he knew it was the man of sin, but he used that word Antichrist. And since that time, we are being fooled by that name, Antichrist, and believing that it's only one man at the end that's going to rule. No, it's not one man. It's a system. The beast is a system, and it has been around from actually the beginning. We have 4 beasts in Daniel 7. 4. And starting with the time of Daniel, there were beasts, one after another. The Babylonian Empire was a beast. The Persian Empire was a beast. The Greek Empire was a beast. The Roman Empire was the last beast. And it is still around because it was kept alive by the horns that came out on the head. And this little horn that was in the middle, which is Babylon the Great. It is a system. It's many rulers. It's many rulers. It's not just one people. You have to understand that. And if you don't even know what's going to happen, and you will be deceived. You will be deceived. So many people think, oh, we're going to get raptured. Well, you have to be part of the 5 wise virgins, not the 5 foolish virgins. Not everybody is ready that screams, I am saved. Please understand that as well. But going back to this mark, what is the beast? The beast is a political system which the Babylon the Great, papacy, the Antichrist, rules and reigns over. Okay, the beast is sitting on, the Babylon the Great, the whore is sitting on the beast. Okay, that's what John is showing us in Revelation. And remember, it's only symbolic. Daniel is showing us the beast with the horns and the little horn that was very different the rest of the horns. And that horn ruled the rest of the kings and the kingdoms. Okay, it ruled the beast. And so it is today. The beast is the political world system. And Babylon the Great is sitting on top, reigning and controlling that beast. And, let's go there. Let's go to Revelation 13, where we read about the beast. And we are starting in Revelation 11. Because who is giving the mark of the beast? It's the beast out of the earth. Again, beast is political system. Another name for this beast out of the earth is the false prophet. It has nothing to do with religion. Prophet means you are prophesying about something. That's what it is. It's not necessarily a believer or whatever. It's believing in the system. Okay? This beast is bowing down to the first beast. Okay? Which is the Roman Empire. So it bows down. It is one with the Roman Empire, or what came out of that Roman Empire. And that is the beast that actually causes people to get this mark. Okay? So he's performing signs. This beast is here. This is the New World Order, or the U.S., That is the beast. Okay? That is the political beast that's now controlling the whole wide world and is responsible for what's going on in the world today. Okay, that's the beast. Now, some people say, oh, Trump has nothing to do with this UN or the New World Order. No, he does. Okay, maybe he's just a puppet for the United States, but the New World Order, the main person behind the New World Order is the United States, or actually the United States is the main component that's supporting this New World Order, even though we don't know it. And that is who is going to give this mark. Why? It has to be a political system, because only a political system can enforce the mark. Only a political system can enforce the mark. That means it has to have power over the people. There needs to be a judiciary system over it. In other words, judges need to sit over the people and condemn them or give them fines. So there needs to be police and military to control the masses. Some spiritual or religious leader cannot do it. It has to be a political system. And it has to be a political system that is ruling the world. And who is that? It's the United States. The UN doesn't do that either. Okay. So where does it say that it causes them to make a mark? It says, the second beast was given power to give breath to the image of the first beast. The first beast is the Roman Empire. Again, it's a political system. And you need to remember that, political system. And this second beast is built exactly on that other political system. So what are we doing? Let's continue. So that the image could speak and cause all who refuse to worship the image to be killed. So he is making an image to the beast. He's making an image to the political system. Do you understand? So we are bowing down to that political system. So if this political system is telling you you will have to vaccinate and you're bowing down to that political system, you're bowing down to the beast. And people need to understand that. And I think people don't, because we're still thinking, oh, it is one ruler and we're going to have to bow down and worship that one ruler. No, it is about a system, a beast that we're bowing down. And that beast is a political system. Do we bow down to this political system? That's what it is. Okay, so worship the image and cause all who refuse to worship the image to be killed. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark of their right hands and on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they could have the mark, which is the name of the beast and the number of its name. Okay? I know people are thinking about this weird, mystical kind of whatever it is. The number of the beast and the name, blah, blah, blah. The main thing is, people, you're bowing down to a system. You're bowing down to a beast, which is not one ruler, but a system. It's a political system. So is that easy to bow down to a political system? Of course it is easy. It's very, very easy to do that. And with that, I want you to think about this. I want you to read these verses again. Okay? These verses again. And think about it. Because we have been so deceived that we do not really see what's going on. I will come to an end. I know I'm way over today. Okay, way over, and I don't want to get too over, but this is important. Please do your own research and let the Holy Spirit guide you always.